In the quiet village of Amona, nestled between rolling hills and whispering rivers, life danced to the rhythm of age-old traditions. The elders, revered for their wisdom, often shared warnings cloaked in cryptic tales. Among these, one rule stood out above all: never bend down and look through your legs in the market. This command, passed from generation to generation, was an unspoken law. Children learned it before they could walk. Adults obeyed it without question. But like all tales of mystery, it was met with a mix of fear, reverence, and curiosity, especially by the bold and brash. Shijubum, or Shido as everyone called him, was the cherished son of Okichukwu and Nena. After years of barrenness and heartbreak, Shido's arrival had been hailed as a miracle, a divine gift from the gods. His name, meaning God is with me, reflected his parents' gratitude. Yet Shido was no ordinary boy. As he grew, his parents' overindulgence and the villagers' awe turned him into a rebellious soul. Where others saw boundaries, Shido saw challenges. He mocked the elders' teachings, scoffed at tradition, and often found himself at the center of trouble. His parents, blinded by love and fear of losing their miracle child, could never bring themselves to discipline him. One sultry evening, as Shido lounged beneath the sprawling Iroko tree with his friends, their conversation drifted to the market rule. Have you ever wondered why we can't bend down and look through our legs at the market? One boy asked, his voice hushed with trepidation. Shido smirked. It's just another one of those ridiculous rules to scare people. Elders always want to keep us in line with their made-up stories. But what if it's true? Ikem, his closest friend, ventured cautiously. Shido's laughter rang out. True. Spirits in the market. Come on. Tomorrow, I'll prove it's nothing but nonsense. Or his friends exchanged uneasy glances, trying to dissuade him. But Shido was resolute. Come with me, he challenged. You'll see for yourselves. The next day, the market was alive with its usual energy. Vendors shouting their wares, the aroma of spices mingling with the earthy scent of clay pots, and vibrant fabrics swaying in the warm breeze. Shido arrived with his friends trailing nervously behind him. This is it, he declared, stopping in the heart of the bustling market. Without hesitation, Shido spread his legs, bent down, and looked between them. His friends watched with bated breath, their hearts pounding. At first, nothing happened. Shido straightened slightly, a smug grin on his face. But just as he opened his mouth to taunt his friends, the air grew heavy. The once vivid market dimmed, the vibrant colors melting into shadows. The chatter of the crowd faded into an eerie silence. Shido's grin faltered as his surroundings twisted into something otherworldly. Tall, shadowy figures with glowing eyes moved silently through the market. Their translucent forms brushed past the oblivious villagers, unseen by all but Shido. His heart raced. One of the figures turned its gaze towards him, its eyes burning with an intensity that pierced his soul. "You have seen us," it hissed, its voice an unsettling melody of whispers and echoes. "No, you belong to us." But panic surged through Shido as he tried to straighten up, but his body refused to obey. He was rooted to the spot, his legs immobile, his spine locked in place. His friends, seeing his struggle, realized this was no joke. "Run!" one of them shouted, and they scattered, leaving Shido frozen and alone. Word of Shido's plight spread quickly. By the time his parents and the chief priest arrived, a crowd had gathered, their faces etched with fear and pity. Shido remained bent over, his gaze fixed through his legs, his body trembling under an invisible weight. His mother, Nena, wailed as she clutched his legs, pleading for the gods to release her son. The chief priest knelt beside Shido, his staff glowing faintly in the dimming light. He chanted ancient prayers, calling upon the spirits for mercy. But the air remained thick with an unspoken warning. "The spirits have marked him." The priest finally said, his voice heavy with sorrow. "They are the guardians of this realm, and he has trespassed into their domain." "Oh, what can we do?" Okechukwu begged, his voice breaking. "He is our only child." The priest sighed. "I will try to appeal to them once more, but their ways are not ours to understand." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the marketplace, the tension reached its peak. Shido's body shuddered as he fought against the invisible grip of the spirits. The villagers, once scorned by his arrogance, now looked on with a mixture of pity and dread. The chief priest began another chant, his voice rising above the whispers of the crowd. The air crackled with energy, and for a moment, it seemed as though the spirits might relent. Then, a profound stillness settled over the market. Shido's rigid body relaxed, and he collapsed to the ground, unconscious but free from the spirit's grasp. Nena rushed to her son, cradling him in her arms as tears streamed down her face. The villagers murmured prayers of gratitude, but the chief priest's expression remained grave. "The spirits have released him," he said, "but the mark they left will not fade easily. This is a lesson for us all. Some traditions exist for reasons beyond our understanding." Shido woke the next morning, his body weak and his voice gone. His once fiery spirit was dampened, replaced by a haunted look that spoke of the realm he had glimpsed. But the story does not end here. The spirits, though silent for now, had not fully turned their gaze away. What lay ahead for Shido and his village remained shrouded in mystery. The morning after Shido regained consciousness, the village elders gathered at his parents' compound. Their expressions were a mixture of relief and solemnity. Shido lay on a mat in the center of the room, his body frail and his eyes distant, as though they were searching a world beyond what anyone else could see. His once lively spirit was replaced with a quiet, almost. The chief priest stepped forward, tapping his staff lightly on the ground to signal the room's attention. "Shido has been spared," he began, his voice deep and steady. "But he carries the mark of his defiance. He has seen what mortals are not meant to see, and though the spirits have released him, they have left a warning etched into his soul." But Shido's parents sat on the floor, clutching each other's hands. Their eyes glistened with unshed tears as they listened intently. "What must we do now?" Nena asked, her voice trembling. How do we protect him from further harm? The priest sighed, his weathered face revealing the weight of his wisdom. Shido will need to live a life of humility and service. The spirits demand respect and repentance. He must learn the ways of the elders, the stories of the land, and the prayers that keep the balance between our world and theirs. Only by walking the path of humility can he hope to live in peace. Oshido's father nodded, his grip on Nena tightening. We will do whatever it takes to keep him safe. The priest then turned to Shido, who was lying still, listening but unable to speak. Shido, your voice may never return, he said gently. But the silence can be a gift. Use it to reflect, to understand the weight of your actions, and to honor the traditions of your ancestors. The boy's eyes filled with tears, and he gave the faintest nod. He wanted to speak, to apologize, to beg for forgiveness, but the words remained trapped within him. A reminder of the consequences of his arrogance. In the days that followed, Shido's life transformed completely. The once rebellious boy became an eager listener, sitting at the feet of the elders to learn the sacred stories and traditions he had once mocked. His friends, who had once admired his boldness, now approached him with a mix of respect and caution. They, too, learned from his ordeal and began to treat the village customs with reverence. The story of Shido's defiance and its consequences spread far beyond People from neighboring villages came to hear the tale, and the elders would recount it with a mix of sadness and pride. Let Shido's story be a lesson to all, they would say. Traditions are not mere words. They are the bridge between us and the unseen forces that guard our lives. To ignore them is to invite chaos. Years later, Shido grew into a quiet and wise young man. Though his voice never returned, he became a respected figure in the village. He carved intricate sculptures that depicted the spirits he had seen, works of art that both fascinated and warned others. Through his silence, he communicated more powerfully than words ever could. His parents, though heartbroken by the changes in their son, found solace in his transformation. They saw in him a maturity and depth that had been absent before. And while they could never forget the pain of that fateful day in the market, they were proud of the man he had become. The market itself remained a place of both commerce and caution. The villagers never again questioned the rule about bending down and looking through one's legs. Instead, they taught their children to respect the spirits and to honor the traditions that kept the balance between the mortal and the divine. And so, the story of Shido became a timeless reminder of the power of humility, respect, and the unseen forces that shape our world. If you are just joining my channel for the first time and have not subscribed, please help to subscribe. Like and share this channel, as this act of love would encourage us to write and create more engaging stories for your view. We appreciate that and love you for doing that.